All right, good morning, officially. Welcome to the Wednesday, October 16th, 2024 Mineland Reclamation Board meeting. This is being recorded, of course. Everyone can hear online. Nell, you can hear clearly?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll start this morning with roll call. William Baker.
Here.
Tim Mott.
Present.
Matthew Redmond.
Here.
Karen Stiglmeyer is absent, and Nell Warren.
Present.
All right, with that, we will get going on today's agenda. First item on the agenda is to approve the September 2024 summary of minutes. Does anybody on the board have any comments on the minutes? If not, can I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes. I second it.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, the minutes from last month are passed as provided. There are no continuations or withdrawals this month, correct? All right, so we'll move into the executive director's office report.
Thank you,
Mr.
Madam
Mott.
Chair. Good morning, fellow board members. Director Cunningham, Tim Mock, Deputy Director of the Department of Natural Resources. Couple updates here. The Colorado Energy and Carbon Management Commission, ECMC, adopted cumulative impacts and enhanced systems and practices rules yesterday, concluding an 18-month public process. Cumulative impacts refer to the combined effects on public health and the environment from incremental impacts of a proposed oil and gas operation alongside those from past, present, and foreseeable future developments. The rulemaking requires operators to adopt new, more protective practices when applying oil and gas permits, and it ensures that operators are compliant with air pollution rules as adopted by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment Air Quality Control Commission. It also requires operators in ECMC to provide additional opportunities for communities, particularly disadvantaged communities, to engage in the permitting process, and it requires the integration of new data cross-checks in the permitting process regarding NOx and greenhouse gases. State Land Board has been working with Parks and Wildlife on updating a beneficiary use agreement, which governs the management of roughly almost 9,000 acres of lands held by the State Land Board, but managed for the benefit of Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and currently managed as state parks. The previous agreement was for 10 years and expires this November. We are working on some legislation already. Just a reminder that the governor's budget and our ledge proposals will not be solidified until they're released in November. But the Interim Water Resources and Agricultural Review Committee did meet and is moving some bills forward. Those include the protection of personal information of livestock depredation claimants. This is in regards to Cora game damage bill. We don't have any position at this time. It would limit any personal information related to a game damage claim being released through a Cora request. There's also legislation proposed to create future or the creation of a future severance tax task force. Bill is designed to explore the impacts of severance taxes on water resources and develop recommendations for ways to continue funding water needs in the face of decreasing severance tax revenue, which is generated through oil and gas revenue and supports a large share of our water project funding in the state. So this is particularly of some interest to the Department of Natural Resources. We have a good amount of our programs and staff are supported through the use of severance tax revenue. Not only through some of our water project grant funding, but other programs with state parks or Parks and Wildlife, such as aquatic nuisance species. We're also there's also an effort to reauthorize the habitat stamp program. This was a bill that was originally, or a program originally created in 2006 in which hunters and anglers were looking to do more to protect critical wildlife habitat. Through the program, every hunter and angler is required to contribute $12 to the program. And since its inception, it has secured public access to 146,000 acres and protected 324,000 acres from development. Program is set to sunset in 2027. Normally, we would think about reauthorizing just about this time, but a group of hunters and anglers have been moving this forward. And then finally, related to DRMS, is the Legacy Mining and Modernization Act. This is actually a DNR-initiated bill, and it's a stateside complement to the Good Samaritan legislation, which would make it easier to clean up mine sites by reducing regulatory burdens for projects that solely focus on reclamation. This would be achieved through creation of a new permit type that would facilitate the removal of waste piles while providing regulatory oversight and ensuing lands are returned to beneficial use. It would incentivize companies and private entities to engage in the cleanup of these waste piles by sending the material to a licensed mill for extraction of valuable metals. And then incentivizing the removal of waste piles provides benefit to property owners where these mines features are located, as well as to downstream localities, downstream property owners, and outdoor recreationists. That concludes my update. If there's any questions, Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? All right,
Nailed.
thanks. Now we'll move to the division director report, Mr. Cunningham.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. This morning, I'm going to start the division director's report out on a somber note. As I'm sure you've seen through media reports, there was a tragic accident that occurred at the Molly Kathleen tourist mine in Teller County on October 10th, which led to 12 people being trapped 1,000 feet below the surface and which resulted in a fatality of a mine tour guide. First and foremost, our heartfelt condolences go out to the family of the deceased mine tour guide and to the surrounding community during what is an incredibly difficult time. On October 10th, upon receiving notification of the incident, staff from the mine safety training program were dispatched to the mine to aid in the rescue. Additionally, DNR Executive Director Dan Gibbs and I went to the mine to provide support. The incident occurred in the mine's elevator system, which transports mine tourists from the surface to the underground portion of the mine. At this time, the exact cause of the accident has not been determined. The elevator system was ultimately used to retrieve the 12 individuals trapped underground after it was determined the elevator system could operate safely. I arrived at the mine as the first group of 4 individuals were brought up to the surface, and I've got to say it was an incredible relief to all of the agencies, the mine rescue teams, and first responders who had gathered to assist in rescue efforts. The coordination between these groups was seamless, and Governor Polis ensured that all resources were made available to assist in the mine rescue. Right now, the Teller County Sheriff's Department, along with the Occupational and Safety Health Administration, are investigating the accident. The mine safety training program will evaluate the facility for compliance with the regulations of the mine safety training program for tourist mines, and we are prepared to respond to any request for assistance with ongoing investigations. This morning, I signed a cease and desist order for the Molly Kathleen mine, and no mine tours will be permitted until the ongoing review of that operation has been completed. Today in Colorado, we have approximately 18 operating tourist mines. That number does fluctuate from year to year. And these tourist mines are safely visited each year by thousands of tourists where they learn about the importance of our state's precious natural resources and the history of mining in Colorado. And overall, the tourist mine industry has an excellent safety record, and the mine safety training program is committed to ensuring that all of these mine tour operations are conducted in accordance with the regulations. So there's a lot of moving parts currently with the 2 open investigations. As I noted, we're coordinating and providing assistance where we can, and we will continue to review this operation for compliance with our regulations. And as additional information becomes available, I will provide updates to the board on that. Moving to an update for our inactive mines program. The Marshall Coal Mine Fire Reclamation Project is set to commence really any day now. We've just got approval for our grading permit. So we're excited to start this very important project. Work's going to involve excavation and extinguishment of 180,000 cubic yards of combusting coal, reducing the potential for coal-induced wildfire ignition. And we've worked in partnership with Boulder County to coordinate the timing of this project with some additional trailhead enhancements for the community. So we're pleased to kick off this project. And lastly, I would let the board know that the Inactive Mine Reclamation Program staff attended the National Association of Abandoned Mine Land Fall Conference in West Virginia, where the Inactive Mines Reclamation Program received the National Association of Abandoned Mine Lands Program's remediation of contamination impacting the environment or human health and safety award for the Matterhorn Mill project in San Miguel County. The Matterhorn Mill is near Ophir and has recently been the site of extensive reclamation designed to consolidate nearly 4,000 cubic yards of contaminated soil away from the mill's structure and waterways and to divert water away from the repository area. The Inactive Mines Reclamation Program also performed stabilization work in the mill prior to cleaning out the mill waste, and that was then incorporated into a tailings repository, which was built on the original tailings impoundment site. I just want to congratulate and commend our Inactive Mine Reclamation Program for their outstanding work at the Matterhorn Mill. And with that, Madam Chair, that concludes the director's report, and I'm happy to take any questions from the board.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions from the board? Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, and congratulations on the award to the Inactive Lands Group, and thank you for all your time above and beyond on matters that fall outside the daily reapers. All right, we'll move into the consent agenda. There is no items on that, so item number 5 will go into the enforcement hearing for file number P 2007-058, and we have a presentation from Mr. Best. Will all the parties involved with this? Is there anyone from the operator here?
No, ma'am.
Just raise your hand and swear to tell the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
Presentation.
Sure, Jim.
Absolutely. Right, let me get the presentation open here. All right, can everybody on Zoom see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Lucas West. I'm the Environmental Protection Specialist from the Grand Junction Field Office, bringing this matter before you today. This is an enforcement hearing for the Liberty Project, which is an NOI, file number P-2007-058. There we go. Slide 2 is the nature of the hearing. This hearing is for consideration of a possible violation for failure to submit the required annual report map, and fee on or before the NOI's anniversary date. Additionally, for finding the financial warranty subject to forfeiture based on the operator voluntarily surrendering the NOI and associated financial warranty. This one's going to be a little bit different than our normal annual fees processes, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit more when we get to staff recommendations, but we did get a voluntary surrender letter from the operator. Slide number 3 is a little bit of background information about the Liberty project. As I said before, the site is a notice of intent to conduct prospecting operations in Ouray County. It's about 8 miles southwest of Ouray at an elevation of approximately 11,087 feet. It's an underground exploration operation for gold and silver resources, contains about 2.19 acres, and the current financial warranty held is $17,962, which is sufficient to conduct reclamation. Slide 4 are the statutes that have been violated. CRS 34-32-116, parent 3 states that on the anniversary date of the permit each year, the operator shall submit a report and map showing the extent of the current disturbances to affected land, reclamation accomplished to date and during the preceding year, new disturbances that are anticipated to occur during the upcoming year, and reclamation that will be performed during the upcoming year. Also, CRS 34-32-116, parent 4 states that all operators shall submit, in addition to the plan and map, an annual fee as specified in section 34-32-127, parent 2. Slide 5 is the location map. You can see up in the upper right-hand corner is the town of Ouray, and it's down in the left-hand corner of the map indicated by the yellow pushpin is the location of the site. Slide number 6 is an excerpt from their operating plan map that just shows the extent of the disturbance. Really contains a small access road leading up to a portal pad that's constructed of waste rock material and a portal on the south side of the site. So relatively small. So brief overview of the chronology. The annual report, map, and fee came due on July 23rd, 2024. And on that same day, DRMS conducted an inspection of the site. On August 12th, the division received the letter of surrender from the operator, stating that they wished to voluntarily surrender the NOI and its associated financial warranty. So following the receipt of that letter on September 9th, the division mailed the reason to believe a violation exists letter and notice of hearing to the operator. Excuse me. Next couple slides are some photographs to show current conditions of the site. So this is a photo looking south at the portal entry. There is a bit of a portal structure. It's a little tough to see with the shadows in the picture, but there is a gated closure that is in good condition, hasn't shown any signs of vandalism over the years. We do have a discharge coming out from the adit that's ranges seasonally. Our best guess right now, we don't know for sure, but we think it's meteoric water of some kind. But it's a low volume discharge, peaks maybe 15 gallons a minute in the springtime. Slide number 9 is a view looking to the east showing a dilapidated office structure that was left on site from the operator. That's also present on that waste rock pad that we had talked about before. And slide 10 is another view looking north, looking at the another extent of that waste rock pad that was constructed. Slide 11 is the staff recommendations. This is kind of where we'll talk about how things are a little bit different. So staff recommends that the board find the operator in violation of CRS 34-32-116, parent 3 and 4 for failure to submit the required annual report, map, and fee due July 23rd, 2024. Staff also recommends that the board revoke NOI P-2007-058 pursuant to CRS 34-32-124, parent 6, parent A. And staff also recommends that the board finds the $17,962 cash bond subject to forfeiture pursuant to CRS 32-118, parent 2. And that the board directs staff to notify the operator and all financial warrantors and set the matter for forfeiture hearing not less than 30 days from the effective date of the board's order. We further recommend that the board issue a cease and desist order preventing any further activities on the site. So this one's a little bit different. Usually this is broken apart into a couple of different steps. Usually we find the violation for an annual fees failure to submit. We allow the operator the opportunity to correct that. If they don't, then we find a violation pursuant to 124, which is failure to comply. And we also, at that hearing, find the financial warranty subject to forfeiture. Then we come back a third time to actually revoke the NOI and forfeit the financial warranty. So with this, with the operator having voluntarily surrendered the NOI, saying, no, I'm done, go ahead and take the financial warranty, we're rolling it into 2 steps to where today we can find the violation, we can revoke the NOI and find the financial warranty subject to forfeiture. Then what we'll do after the board's order comes out is pursuant to 118 parent 2. We are required to notify the operator and all the financial warrantors. So that sets us up for our follow-up hearing will be the actual revocation of the NOI and forfeiture of the financial warranty. So that's how things are just a little bit different. The civil penalties on this one, slide 12, pursuant to CRS 34-32-124, parent 7, it states that any person who violates any provision of any permit issued under this article shall be subject to a civil penalty of not less than $100 per day, nor more than $1,000 per day for each day during which the violation occurs. It's standard practice for the division in the instance of violation for failure to submit the annual report, map, and fee to impose a civil penalty equal to the amount of the required annual fee, which in this case is $86. However, staff recommends that based on the voluntary surrender of the NOI and the circumstances that we're dealing with, that the $86 civil penalty is waived. Slide 13, is there any questions?
Questions from the board?
Very well stated.
Thank you, sir.
So is this a historical site? That they-
Yes, ma'am. So it was a historic adit that was re-permitted in 2007 for explorations. The opening had been there for quite some time.
And the waste pile as well?
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
previous, they just leveled it off?
Yep.
Okay. In the water?
That's a recent addition. That was a result of the recent exploration activities. So that it never was draining before. And then when it was permitted under this NOI, at some point during the course of the exploration, it started making water. And we have not been able to definitively have the operator figure out where the water is coming from and all that stuff.
Okay, how much disturbance did they do through the course of their permit?
Just that, so they permitted the 2.19 acres, but it was all previously disturbed, so they didn't disturb any additional lands. It was all within that historic footprint. They made the waste rock dump a little bit bigger, made the road a little easier to access, but that was about it. Everything else was already there.
All right, just trying to understand a little bit more about the water, and you say it's seasonal.
Yes, ma'am. And when we inspect the site, we don't see any visual signs of degraded water quality, things like mineral staining, precipitation of minerals or anything like that. Visually, it appears to be fairly decent quality water. And it comes out of a basin that has several other draining historic mines, all of which have really, really good water quality when it comes to looking at abandoned historic mines. So the water quality is not a major concern for the division.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the mine private property?
Yes, sir.
What happens in this case to that? Does the owner operator still, does the operator, is he the owner of the property?
Actually, he used to be when he permitted it. We come to find out through these discussions with the voluntary surrender of the NOI that he did sell his claim. So it is a patented mining claim that is conveyed the same way as private property. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll revoke the NOI, take the financial warranty, we'll pass it off to the Inactive Mines Reclamation Program. they'll go up and see to it that make sure that closure is safeguarded, that the water is dealt with as best they can, figure out what's going on, get the trash and stuff out of there. And then the liability will be done, and then the private property will just continue as private property.
Do we reclaim the road too?
In the reclamation plan, yes, that's the goal, yes.
Madam Chair, this is Russ Means, just to fill a little bit on Lucas's presentation and stuff. It's hard to see in the photos and stuff, but it's very, very steep and stuff up above the portal. And so the reason staff believes and stuff, this is the water coming out and stuff is seasonal, is because there's a lot of snow and precipitation and stuff that builds up on that upper slide area. And it has a habit of precipitating through and stuff, and so that's why we believe and stuff that this is seasonal, because of the way it goes up and down and stuff, and that is related to snow melt and other precipitation.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from the board? If not, may I hear a motion?
I motion that we accept the staff's recommendations regarding this case.
I second it. Does it need the motion?
All right. Since the recommendations are clearly stated, do I hear a second to that motion?
I second.
All right, all in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries, and thank you for your presentation, Mr. West, and we'll look forward to the next step.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for the time.
All right, we will move on to the second enforcement hearing, which is file number M218-029, and Ms. Gibson will be giving us a presentation. And is the operator present? Is it just?
Yes, he should be on the phone, I believe. Red, can? Him, Joe's on the phone, correct?
Yes, Joe's on, excuse me.
Yes, so we need both parties to raise your hand and swear to tell the truth.
I swear.
He's on the phone, so they might want to ask him.
So can he hear us through this, or?
Amber, can you ask if Joe can hear us?
Joe, can you hear us? Mr. Montoya?
I don't see the microphone on him. So, yeah, I'm like.
Maybe he's listening. Maybe he just hear them. What did you say?
You can probably hear it, but I have no way to determine that.
Please unmute.
No, there's no mute position microphone.
All right. So we're not sure if the operator is with us or not.
It looks like he's on the phone, but we have no way to talk to, or he can't talk to us. Is that what you're saying?
All right, let's continue, and if he has any statements, serve that at that time.
Madam Chair.
Okay.
I just want to acknowledge, I think we're having some technical difficulties with how our presentations are being shown, and it's likely showing up on Zoom. We've got a portion of the top of the slide blocked out. So as you move through the presentation, if there's something that's being obscured, just let us know and we'll make sure to describe that.
All right, thank you for that. And Nell, you can see the blockage on the screen. Would you?
Yeah, it's maybe like just the top portion, so maybe just a map or something. Well, I'll let you know if it's trouble.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, please proceed.
Sorry about that. Well, good morning. My name is Amber Gibson, and I'll be representing the division in this enforcement action. So this hearing is for the White Wolf Construction Borrow Pit, permit number M-2018-029. This site is permitted to and operated by White Wolf Construction and Landscaping LLC. And this hearing is for the consideration of a possible violation, cease and desist order, corrective actions, civil penalties, permit revocation, and finding the financial warranty subject to forfeiture for failure to maintain financial warranties in good standing for the entire life of the permit. So this site is located approximately 12 miles west of Trinidad, Colorado. And this site is permitted as a construction materials special one-time excavation 111-1B operation, and it encompasses 0.41 acres. The commodity mined at this site was borrow material for construction, and the post-mining land use is rangeland. The division currently holds a bond in the amount of $3,628. And right now the division is waiting for verification of funds from the operator's financial institution. If the funds are verified, the bond is adequate to conduct the remaining reclamation. So here I'd just like to address the on-the-ground disturbance at this site. So the photo on the left is a aerial photo from 2016. So that's prior to the mining disturbance and prior to the permits issuance. And then the photo on the right shows an image from 2024, and that gives us an approximation of the current on-site disturbance. So on the 2024 image, that little red line kind of indicates where the operator has seeded this past spring. And that photo on the right was submitted by the operator and shows that the backfilling and grading has been completed, as well as the initial mulching and seeding on the site. So now I'll go through a brief chronology of the events leading to this hearing. Beginning on April 2nd, 2024, the division sent the operator's financial institution a verification request to verify the funds of the financial warranty. Then on May 16th, 2024, the division sent a second verification request to the operator's financial institution to verify those funds for the financial warranty. Then on June 25th, 2024, the division sent a third and final verification request to the operator's financial institution and to the operator to verify the funds for the financial warranty. Then on August 6, 2024, the division sent the operator a reason to believe a violation exists notice for failure to maintain financial warranties in good standing for the life of the permit. And then on September 18th, 2024, the enforcement items were continued to today's October 16th, 2024 hearing. Part of the reason we requested a continuance was because our financial assurance specialist, Sarah, had been in communication with the operator's financial institution's president. And he had told her that they had to bring this matter before their internal committee the week following the board hearing. And then on October 4th, the operator asked the bank for verification, a written verification that this has been completed. And he was told at that time that the decision hadn't been finalized. And then when Sarah, our financial assurance specialist, spoke to the bank again, they told her that they were still in discussion as to whether or not they would extend the letter of credit. Therefore, because the financial warranty cannot be verified at this time, and we believe it may be impaired, we were advised to seek the board's permission to claim the funds that are currently held in the financial warranty agreement via permit revocation and finding the financial warranty subject to forfeiture. Also, we withdrew the annual report, fee, and map item on the September agenda because as of October 6th or October 8th, that matter's been resolved. So this brings us to the reason for violation. After repeated notice, the operator's financial institution, which is the First National Bank of Trinidad, failed to verify the funds for the financial warranty during this year's audit. The operator, who has the ultimate responsibility for maintaining the financial warranty, failed to rectify this issue. Therefore, the operator has failed to maintain the financial warranty in good standing for the entire life of any permit issued under the Act pursuant to CRS 3432.5, 117, parent 6, parent A. Also, according to grants, conditions, and agreements, parent 1 of permit number M-2018-029, states that the permittee/operator is bound by all applicable requirements of the Act and all applicable rules and regulations of the board. The operator has violated this provision of the permit by failing to comply with CRS 3432.5, 117, parent 6, parent A. Further, the permittee promised the board to comply with all applicable requirements of the act and rules by signing their performance warranty. Therefore, the permittee can be found in default of their performance warranty by violating the requirements of the act. Pursuant to CRS 3432.5, 124, parent 6, parent A, upon a determination after a hearing that a violation of a permit provision has occurred, the board may suspend, modify, or revoke the permit. Again, after repeated notice, the operator's financial institution failed to verify the funds for the financial warranty during this year's audit, and the operator has failed to rectify this issue. Therefore, the operator is in violation of the permit, and it may be revoked, and the financial warranty may be found subject to forfeiture. The operator has failed to maintain the financial warranty in good standing for the entire life of any permit issued under the act pursuant to the statute. Pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-118, parent 1, parent B, when an operator is found in default under the performance warranty and has failed to cure such default, although they've had ample time to do so, or pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-118, parent 1, parent C, when an operator has failed to maintain a financial warranty in good standing as required by section 34-32.5-117, the board may find the financial warranty subject to forfeiture. So the operator is in default of the performance warranty and has failed to maintain a financial warranty in good standing. Therefore, the financial warranty can be found subject to forfeiture. The division recommends that the board finds the operator in violation for failure to maintain a financial warranty in good standing for the entire life of any permit issued under the act pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-117, parent 6, parent A. The division recommends that within 30 days of the effective date of the board order, the permittee shall submit verification of the financial warranty or provide an alternative financial warranty. Pursuant to the statute, the division recommends that the board issue a cease and desist order prohibiting any further mining activities within the affected land, except those activities approved by the division in writing as necessary to comply with the conditions of the order, prevent damage to offsite areas, complete reclamation, or to protect public health and safety until corrective actions have been resolved to the satisfaction of the division. The staff recommends that the board assess the civil penalties pursuant to the following statute, which states that any person who violates any provision of any permit issued under this article shall be subject to a civil penalty not less than $100 per day, nor more than $1,000 per day for each day during which the violation occurs. The division believes this site to have been in violation for 43 days, starting on August 6, 2024, when the RTB was issued, to the originally scheduled September 18th, 2024 board hearing. Therefore, the division recommends that the board assess a civil penalty of $4,300 and to suspend all but $500 if the operator complies with the corrective action. Finally, the staff recommends that the board revokes permit number M-2018-029 pursuant to the statute, and that the board finds a $3,628 financial warranty subject to forfeiture pursuant to the statute. Division also recommends that the board direct staff to set a hearing for the consideration of final financial warranties forfeiture, and direct staff to notify the operator and the financial warrantor of such a hearing in accordance with the statute, with the caveat that such a hearing may be withdrawn in compliance with the board order and an operator request for reinstatement of the permit. Questions?
Madam Chair, this is Russ Means. We have confirmed that the operator is listening online and stuff and that, but has expressed and stuff that he's not going to participate any more than that. So, but for the record, we want to make sure and stuff to note that the operator and stuff is present.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions on the board?
Ms. Gibson, a couple of questions here. The staff recommendation that the board finds that the $33,628 financial warranty is subject to forfeiture. There isn't one. Then what? And does the if we have to take over reclamation of the mine, does that civil penalty of $4,300, if that sticks, does that go to cover the reclamation?
No, so with the financial warranty that was provided with the permit issuance, that's an agreement that we do have claim on those funds. So the problem is that it's not verified that those funds are still there to continue any further disturbance. But we need to revoke and find it subject to forfeiture for us to claim those funds that are there in place with that agreement. And then the civil penalties, unfortunately, don't go towards reclamation.
Next question then, if the financial warranty actually or the funds are not there, how are we affording the reclamation if we need to take this on?
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, they're there in the sense that we can have claim to the ones that, like that 3,628 that's currently in the agreement.
Okay,
But anything for, that's why we need to do this now, because we think it may not continue.
okay, I apologize for being that.
No, that's okay. No, I was a little confused.
Mr. Mock, this is Russ Means. Yeah, our financial warranty agreements and stuff have trigger dates and stuff in there for notifications as to those funds are not being available or anything else. So this is kind of a cover our act, if you will, and stuff in that for the board, for the liability for the current letter of credit that was submitted. We have not gotten a notice from the bank that they're not available. It's just they're not potentially right now going to renew that. But in order to make sure that we're in place and stuff to take those funds and stuff and that and they're not returned or whatever, and that we have to go through this process right now. But that's part of the language and stuff in all of our financial warranties. There's certain dates and stuff for them to notify us of that. So.
No further questions.
Thank you. And you believe that the $3,600 would cover the remaining work to be done, so.
Right, so hopefully all that's really remaining on the site is possibly reseeding. Since it was just seeded in the spring, we haven't really had enough growing seasons to see whether or not the vegetation established. So that's pretty much all that we would need to do if it was revoked and if we had to go out there.
Is there other roads or anything else, access that needs to be pulled out or?
No, it's actually on the permittee's land. So it's like his driveway and then his backyard.
All right. Any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that the board find the operator in violation and pursuant to CRS 3432.5-117 parent 6 parent A for failure to maintain a financial warranty in good standing for the entire life of any permit issued under the act. And that the division issue a cease and desist order pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-124 parent 2 prohibiting any further activities within the affected land except those activities approved by the division in writing as necessary to comply with the conditions of the board order, prevent damage to offsite areas, complete reclamation, or to protect public health and safety until corrective actions have been resolved to the satisfaction of the division. And that within 30 days of the effective date of the board's order, the permittee shall submit verification of the financial warranty. That the board further assesses an additional civil penalty of $4,300 with all but $500 suspended if the corrective actions cited above are completed to the satisfaction of the division within the required deadlines. The $500 unsuspended portion of the civil penalty will be due and payable within 30 days of the effective date of the board's order. Failure to comply with the board's order will result in the remaining civil penalties being immediately due and payable. And that the board revoke permit number M-2018-029 pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-124 parent 6 parent A. And that the board finds that the $3,628 financial warranty is subject to forfeiture pursuant to CRS 34-32.5-118, parent 1, parent B, and parent C. The board directs staff to set a hearing for consideration of the final warranty forfeiture and notify the operator and financial warrantor of a hearing in accordance with CRS 34-32.5-118, parent 2. Such hearing may be withdrawn with compliance with the board order and an operator request for reinstatement of the permit.
Thank you. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. Thank you for your recommendation and update.
Thank you.
Now we will move to the discussion item, which will be led by Mr. Means. If you would go ahead and
Good morning, members of the board. Today's informational presentation is actually a draft of what the staff is working on for our public forum that we're working on for the public notice requirements and stuff for in the act and the rules. So this is a draft. So what we thought we would do and stuff is present it to you. Our first meeting, we have 3 scheduled as the board was informed and stuff and that at an earlier meeting. The first one will be November 5th at 1:30 and then on Zoom. And then we also have one scheduled for January 22nd and also on April 23rd. So as noted, this is a draft. So if you see some things and stuff in that you would like to have us expound on or possibly have suggestions and stuff, you can feel free and stuff to bring that to my attention or also send me an email. So, yeah.
Russ, just want to point out on this end, we're seeing 2 slides as opposed to what's over here. See if we can get that fixed.
All right. Yeah. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Go back to what?
Share screen.
Oh.
No, I do screen one.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Got me.
Is that better?
That's better.
That's better. Still have the great big blue box, but anyway, it's up, and our apologies for that, and that, so. With that, as noted and stuff, this meeting is gonna be from about 1:30 to 3 o'clock. We don't know what kind of participation's out there. We've sent out, it's out on our website now. It's been out there for about a month or so. We also sent out a mail blast to operators and consultants and stuff. So we'll see what kind of participation we have. We could have hundreds, we could have one, it could be just us and stuff and that, but we'll hopefully we'll get some participation and stuff out of this so that we have some meaningful dialogue. So the purpose of the meeting and stuff, as you know, is over time, the Mineland Reclamation Board and staff have heard about the antiquated notice processes and over and under notice issues, as well as transparency. So the objective of the forum is a discussion to identify and explore ways where maybe we can possibly improve, modify or modernize our requirements and stuff and the methods and stuff that we try to get public notices out and stuff for new applications and amendments in both hard rock and in construction materials. So what we'll do and stuff is we'll do a little bit of information on who DRMS is. We'll explain the requirements of the statute versus the rule requirements, because there's some differences there. And then we'll also explain the public notice process and comment period as it is today. Just a brief organizational chart and stuff in that, the board's fully aware of that, and that, but we'll be concentrating and stuff on the minerals regulatory program and that for these rules and regulations. So per statute, the Mine Land Reclamation Board is the expert agency established by the General Assembly to promulgate mining operation permit regulations and reclamation standards, which includes identifying what is or is not a reclamation standard. So DRMS serves as staff to the board. The act, which we work under, is for hard rock is CRS 3432, and for construction materials it's 3432.5. The act requires that any changes and stuff in that are required to go through the state legislature, and they initiate changes or revisions. This is a more complicated and time-consuming process, and it can only happen during the legislative session. The rules, on the other hand, help define the processes and requirements set forth in the act, and the rules can be changed or modified by this board. This is less complicated process in a way, and can happen at any time, and it includes more direct stakeholder engagement as well as input. I won't go through the whole thing here, but this is the legislative declaration for the hard rock rules, and it lays out and stuff that, the most important thing and stuff is for our mission is to restore lands to a beneficial use. For construction materials, it's a mirror image, if you will, of hard rock, and that with the same objective and stuff of making sure that lands are reclaimed. So hard rock, just briefly and stuff to recap, hard rock is 3432.101, and the rules and stuff are the hard rock, metal, and designated mining operation rules that we operate under. And then construction materials, again, is 3432.5.101. And those are the rules and stuff are for the extraction of construction materials. Talk a little bit about county authorities. So DRMS does not decide should a mine be at this location. What we do and stuff is we take a look at what the activities that are going to happen there, and ensure that those activities are done safely, and that the lands can again be reclaimed. DRMS and the board do not have jurisdiction over matters controlled by other agencies or local governments or municipalities. This includes noise, dust, traffic, hours of operation, visual impacts, etc. Counties have the authority over all aspects of land use for mining. So they decide if the location is appropriate for mining operations. They also look at hours of operation, visual impacts, traffic, and other kinds of activities under their special use or conditional use permit process. Our processes, as you know, are permitting, reclamation, financial warranty bonding. We do inspections and regulate through that, and do enforcement, and we ensure that the reclamation and stuff is done in accordance to approved plans. For a new application or an amendment, this slide shows on the left a whole list of things that are required under Rule 6. On the right-hand column and stuff, you'll also required are some things that are more pertinent to today's discussion. Those are legal right of entry, owners of record of surface and mineral rights, municipalities within 2 miles, proof of notice to the Board of County Commissioners, proof of filing with the county clerk and recorder, also permanent man-made structures and geotechnical stability. So prior to an application submittal, the applicant must, per the rules, send a notice to the local Board of County Commissioners. They do this currently through hard copy. They send notice to the local Soil Conservation District. This is also done via hard copy. And then they place a copy of the permit documents with the county clerk and recorder via hard copy. At that point, they also post public notices at the proposed mine site. And if the board will remember, we did rulemaking back in 2018 where we had a more descriptive requirement and stuff for the size of the signs and stuff, because before that, it could be just a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper or whatever, but now it's 11 by 17, which is more in line with what county land use changes and stuff and that go along with. After the application submittal, the applicant must also send a notice of to all the owners of record of surface and mineral rights of the affected lands. They also have to send notice to record to all land surface within 200 feet of the affected lands. This is per statute. The purpose of that is to notify those that have the most potential to be impacted and stuff from the actual mining operation itself, and that of any potential damages or anything that are along those lines. And then they also have to begin the public notice process in the newspaper of general circulation in the locality of the proposed mine. So the Act and the rules publication requirements require that within 10 days of the division finding that the application is complete for review, that they have to begin the public notice process. For a 110 application, they publish in the newspaper once. And then from there, there's a 10-day publication date, and the public comment period and stuff runs during that time frame. For a 112 application, it has to be published 4 times, once a week for 4 consecutive weeks, and the comment period and stuff is extended for 20 days past the last day of publication. So the division also has requirements and stuff for notifications when we get an application or an amendment. We send out notices to the following agencies. We send out notices to the Division of Water Resources. We also send out notices to the CDPHE for stormwater discharge pollutants and permits, as well as air pollution control permitting fugitive dust, and that there are 2 different divisions there, along with sending something to the Colorado Division of Wildlife, Parks and Wildlife. So, and then and if it's on federal lands, we also send notice and stuff to the Bureau of Land Management or the U.S. Forest Service. Through our MOUs, we try to do this as soon as we actually get the application and that, so that they're aware of it, and they reciprocate back if they get an application first, and that they send something to us so that we're aware of it. We also send something to the Corps of Engineers if it's deemed necessary. We also send notices to the county planning department for the county or counties in which the proposed operation is going to occur. And if it's on state land, we also send it to the State Land Board as well as the local soil conservation district. So comments and objections are allowed on all permit applications, amendments, surety releases, etc. So that's an important aspect here. The division consideration is limited to what is jurisdictional issues as dictated by the Act and the rules. And the timeframes for division consideration of comments and objections, they're defined by Act and rules. So we cannot just arbitrarily extend decision dates or comment period times. There has to be a procedural issue and stuff and that dictates the extension of that, and it's in a very rare situation. Again, we've talked a little bit about the comment periods. The biggest thing is that, yeah, for 112, it's 4 consecutive weeks as a publication, and then a 20-day period after that. And with the 110 and stuff, it's published once, and then there's a 10-day comment period and stuff that's involved there. So we want to make sure that it's important and stuff that objections or comments of support can be received via currently mail or email, but our preferred method is through our website portal now, and which comments and stuff are closed and stuff on the 10th or 20th day respectively. If the comment period is missed, those comments must be considered untimely by the act and the rule. However, that doesn't mean that the staff does not look at them. We do take a look at those and review jurisdictional issues, no matter the timing, just to ensure that all aspects of the application requirements are being met. And what happens there is this, that person who made those comments and stuff, they're not a party to it, but there may be issues and stuff in that are important to the application, and we're not going to ignore it just simply because it didn't come in a timely fashion. So I want to talk a little bit about what we've done so far. During rulemaking in 2018, stuff as it noted, we made a requirement of a minimum size of the signs and stuff for 11 by 17, which matches up with most county land use code changes. We're instituting the use of a QR code to direct the user and stuff to the DRMS website for public notices and information and stuff regarding that particular permit or amendment. We've also gone through quite a bit of work and stuff to update the DRMS website to try to make it more friendly. There's a separate page and stuff there that's dedicated to new applications and amendments so that people can go in and see the status of those particular applications. And also that's where they can submit comments and objections or support through that process there. And we've also held meetings with cooperating agencies to kind of streamline e-notification. Those participating agencies, they get e-notified on applications to maximize review time. Under the older system, we'd send them a notice in the mail. And a lot of times by the time they got it in the mail, they'd only have 2 or 3 days in order to make any kind of review and comment. Well, now, as soon as we call it deemed complete, they get that that notice, and then also, so there's a little bit of buffer, if you will, there between the time that they get to the same time that the operator applicant does. So within 10 days, they have to start publication, but that agency actually has that little bit of buffer and stuff in there before the publication even starts. So some of the suggestions and stuff that we've had so far in discussions with public and operators, it's just, we're going to start a running list here. One of the things is to eliminate the requirement for newspaper publication and just use the website instead. There are certain issues and stuff involved with that, but that's, we hear from the public, well, they don't use newspapers or they're behind a firewall or something like that. And sometimes it's cumbersome for an applicant and stuff like that to try to get that in a local newspaper, because a lot of times the stuff, those aren't as regularly available as they used to be. In looking at it, other states have a different process where they have an agency review and cooperating agency review prior to putting it out for public comment. That way the public, when they see the application, they're seeing the finished product instead of a product and stuff that we haven't even reviewed yet. So it's an interesting idea and stuff's in that, but we have that put down there. We also have had a request and stuff maybe to modify and review times for agencies, have the public have their comment period and stuff, but allow other agencies and stuff an extended time for additional comments, or at least being able to accept them and stuff past the normal comment period deadline. There's, make the use of QR codes and stuff a requirement, which, we're working on different aspects of that. There's also making the public notice signs even bigger. There has to be something that's reasonable. 11 by 17 is reasonable. 4 foot by 8 foot billboard and stuff may not be so reasonable, but those are discussions and stuff and that have been thrown out there. One of the things and stuff is instead of sending out certified mails for all the notices, especially if you have a subdivision or something like that where you have a mass mailing, is accept a proof of notice of affidavit instead of a certified mailing. Doing away with the certified mailings altogether. There's do away with the requirements of county clerk placement. That's a statutory thing, by the way, but more than once, we have where the applicant has taken the application and stuff to the county clerk, and the county clerk doesn't, or the person that's there doesn't even know what to do with it. And that, so they do get it filed and stuff, but then somebody will go in and look for it, and somebody at the front desk won't know where it's at, and they hear, well, we don't have it. And it's like, no, it's there and stuff. So is that a process and stuff and that's antiquated now and stuff that needs to be taken a look at? And then there have been conversations about modifying the distance and stuff and that for the 200-foot notice. That's statutory, so that would require legislative discussions and certainly and stuff our operators and stuff and that have a lot of comments and stuff on that. So with that, my comes to kind of weird here, but we wanted to open that up for questions, comments, dialogue and stuff moving forward. And our idea and stuff here is through the submission form that we have online is we can get those and put those all in a record so that we have all of them and can kind of keep a tally on them. When we're finished with this project, our hope and stuff is to bring it back to the board, have some meaningful discussion and stuff. The intent is not to roll this into rulemaking immediately, but if there's an opportunity and stuff for that to take a look at this and stuff in the future and stuff, then certainly that would be the time to have those discussions. So, and also at the end here and stuff and that to submit a comment or suggestion, there's the our website link, and then there's also the you go there and on the very front page and stuff there's the comment intake form and that link and stuff there. So with that ends my like I said, this is a draft. So we would certainly appreciate any kind of input that you have, any suggestions, or anything else you would like to see and stuff brought out and stuff to in this forum and stuff. And with that, I will ask if you have any questions or suggestions now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a question on the 200-foot rule, which is a legislative rule. It says 200 feet from the affected area. Well, to be hypothetical, if you have a 10-acre parcel and the affected area is right in the center, 200 feet from that, you wouldn't have to notify anyone.
The for 110 permit, the affected land is all the permitted area. So
Okay.
So to clarify that, but you are correct. Like with a 112, they could permit 200 acres, and then the affected land would be within the middle of that 100 acres. And you're correct and stuff. They would not have to notify anybody of that and stuff that would be on the edge and stuff of the permit boundary. It's only the affected lands.
So the other question that I have on statutory, the board would make recommendations of the change and then that would go to the legislature. Is that correct?
There would be a process and stuff involved in that, but yeah, if we were looking to make some of those changes and stuff, we would have to kind of write up a proposal and run that through the executive director's office and everything else and stuff, and move that up through the chain and stuff. The exact same process we just did with the current legislation that's going to be considered.
And the only input that I would give you, I live in a mining area, and I completely agree that the signage is, although it's been expanded over the years, it's too small. I mean, it's generally people are driving down a highway, they see the sign, certainly they can't read it. And I agree with you. It should be larger.
And that's some of the conversations and stuff that we had during rulemaking. And like I said before, there was nothing, and we would go out into the field and there would be a piece of paper and stuff that was, wrapped in cellophane and that. So the requirements and stuff for 11 by 17 certainly were a step in that right direction, but also it's stuff that's understood that, yeah, you drive by, and that you're not gonna read it. You're gonna have to stop and get out and take a
Right.
look at that, but you have to be able to notice it right up front, correct? So, yes.
Thank you.
So it would be adjacent landowner to solve the isolation issue
Yes.
rather than a distance.
Yeah,
You notice adjacent.
as it currently reads, it's adjacent landowners within 200 feet, yeah.
So they had, well. So that's, I'm getting at, what he's saying is if you have a big enough parcel, you don't have to notify anybody, but if you're gonna try and change it so that anything that's adjacent to the ownership of the property, maybe.
That would be something that the board could consider, certainly, yeah. Like I said, the affected lands require that notice, but then there's also the requirement that at the entrance of that mine, that there's the public notice and stuff that's there. So even though it may be 100, surrounded and stuff by unaffected acreage, where that entrance, that mine and stuff is, it's still required and stuff that's in there. And then it's in the newspaper right now. So there's a couple of different avenues. They can't just hide, if you will, and stuff and tuck away and they're not. There is still public notice, but it's not required and stuff in that for those directly adjacent to it and stuff, unless that's affected land within 200.
Got it.
Yeah, and the whole purpose of that back in the original time was to, somebody's digging up to within 200 feet of your land boundary and stuff, that you had a right and stuff to know what the damages would be there or
Right.
whatever and stuff there. It wasn't necessarily other impacts and stuff that were involved in that we look at today.
Another bit of input that I certainly would give would there should be a difference between reactivating a mine and starting a new mine. That has a different impact on the community than reactivating the mine. I mean, and again, I live in a mining community.
Right.
So when I bought my property, I knew that mine was there and I knew that it was in operation. If that mine ceased and then restarted, I don't know that I'd have a big complaint because I knew it was there. But a new mine is an entirely different situation to a community than is an existing mine that's being reopened. So I would just throw that out for what it's worth.
And that may be part of the wording and stuff within the public notices themselves and stuff that we can take a look at.
I don't feel that we do notify the public adequately in my area.
Okay, and that's part of, our discussions, a lot of times the stuff we say, oh, we understand that, but what's a solution? And then we get the kind of crickets and stuff. So that's what we're hoping and stuff, and that is being able to find something it has to be reasonable for the applicants and the operator
Of course,
and stuff, as well as getting the word and stuff out to the public.
and it needs to be timely.
Yes, yeah.
So I agree with that. But I just think that we don't do a good job in some cases of notifying the public in terms of what's happening. And that's signage, that's notification, that's a whole bunch of things.
Right. And that's how we do that, is create a big net as we can. And as I pointed out, I think in the past, so no matter where we draw a line or set up a notice, somebody's going to be on the other side of that and not get noticed and complain about it. So
You mentioned in how you're getting the notice out for this set of hearings. You talked about consultants, the operators, the this and that, but how are we getting it out to the communities that tend to be the people questioning and poking at the process?
it's part of it and stuff is having discussions in front of the board, and hopefully people are listening. It's on our website and stuff, and like I said, up front and that. And there has been discussions and stuff of putting it out on social media and stuff, on maybe Facebook or something and stuff, so that it's out there.
Are there any of the registered NGOs or people that have participated in the hearings that are being notified?
Yeah, we have sent out email invitations specifically to some of the NGOs and stuff to let them know that we're in this process. Yes, so I didn't clarify that.
The other thing that seems to me is you get to it throughout, but upfront having a clear jurisdictional, here's us, here's CDPHE, here's the community, the county officials, especially, I think often operators, I mean, it's unique state that has both a DNR and a CDPHE running the mining process, and maybe just have a cool graphic that shows that jurisdictional thing up front. You kind of alluded to it, but and throughout the presentation, we get it, but just be very overt.
Okay, that, and, we always talk about, being part of an umbrella of regulatory agencies to take a look at that. So we'll take a look at that and see if we can come up with a graphic or something. I think some of our operators say we're just another layer in the onion, but that's,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll take a look and see. If
It's not, it's not an end all. There's a big process.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Graphic would be good.
You brought up something that's kind of interesting. We all know that newspapers are in a decline, so therefore changing the rules there. And I think that makes sense. But also social media. Until just now, if you put this on Neighborhood Watch or My Neighborhood, one of these social media things, you would notify pretty much everybody in the area in terms of, hey, this is what's going on. So I would throw that out there. Again, I'm in a mining area, but everyone in my neighborhood is in it. What is it, Neighborhood Watch or My Neighborhood or whatever it's called. Everybody pays attention to that. So times change.
Yeah, and you have, the board has seen that where we've had 112s with objections where a host of our objectors and stuff, actually one person sees the notice and they put that on their local neighborhood, and that's how they're all get noticed and stuff of it and stuff. So it's kind of a chain reaction. So, but yeah, that's certainly we can explore and stuff, and that if that's something that make a requirement, suggestion, or something like that to help out with that.
So second question, like what happens right now if there's no newspaper? Like they can't meet the requirement because there's no locally recognized newspaper for the notice.
Most of the time, instead of if it's really rural, they do it with a newspaper of the largest circulation. So they may roll out, it may be just the Denver Post and stuff and that is put in there, or say the Daily Sentinel and stuff over in Grand Junction or Montrose Press or something. So they try to do it the best they can and stuff for that region. So, and I know just from my own work and stuff, but like down in New Glen, Atarita, there's the San Juan Times. I think they publish once a month, right? So that's not going to work and stuff, but they do the Montrose paper and stuff and that, or the Telluride Times or something like that. So we help them identify and stuff what's the best
Some place to
meet the requirement.
I'm going to ask a dumb question. Are the legal newspapers still viable? Remember that?
they have legal notices only.
Yeah, they're still viable.
We still, we're required and stuff to post notice and stuff for our monthly meetings here. So we do put out a notice and stuff there. And that also includes anything except that we're considering. So, yeah.
And any kind of public notice, you can send it to anywhere.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of looking around, making sure the best place for the community that's involved.
All right, well, duly noted, and we'll continue to work on that. And we will send the board members and stuff the link for the Zoom meeting if you want to sit in, and we'll go from there. The first meeting and stuff will be interesting. We'll see what kind of participation we have there, and then we'll see what we need to do and stuff for that to expand that, or if we need to do something. So, but
And yeah, I believe I've already sent the Zoom notices.
Okay. All right, so appreciate your time, and like I said, if something comes up to you and stuff, driving home or whatever, and that, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy and stuff to take a look at that. So appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. And this is a wonderful issue. I hope we get some good feedback from everyone who's concerned. All right. Any public comment for today? I don't believe anyone is registered.
No, there's nobody next.
All right. And last but not least, no need to move into executive session.
Nope.
So this meeting for October 2024 is adjourned, and we'll see you next month.
You're gonna be going. Well, you know, I was in Europe on my last meeting. And I did. I'm just sitting up first.
Yeah, you're not gonna do that.
I even missed that day. Because each other.
Oh.
Do you, it's on the